one.
Hi.
Out of practice.
Well, very much out of practice. Welcome back to I Read It Online Somewhere, here every week, sometimes, to discuss what we have read online and answer your strange and wonderful questions you probably should have asked your science teachers at school. I'm Amie, and I didn't ask these questions either, but luckily for me, I'm joined by two science teachers, Andrew and Ross.
Hello.
Who can help us answer them now. So, sorry, we've not been here. We've had various bugs.
We took
there's been deer hit.
a One Direction
a
One Direction hiatus, and then someone tried to pretend to be us.
We came back though.
Someone tried to pretend to be us on Twitter, and that was really awkward. And
did they win?
No, it's just a bit, Amy. It's just a bit. I'm just trying.
Oh right, okay. That was like really convincing.
Just trying to keep us relevant. What we've missed on the past few weeks.
Oh, did that happen to One Direction?
No, yeah. They said that they were coming back, and like people were like, "Oh my god, this is like the best news ever!" And it turns out like it was something ridiculous, like one like dot direction, or it was. I think direction was maybe spelt wrong, but you wouldn't notice if you were just
Elon
looking
Musk
at it.
just having fun.
Yeah.
Elon Musk is reinstating Trump. Did you see that? He did a poll on Twitter. Elon Musk's tweets are like a 12-year-old getting Twitter for the first time.
It's really funny. It's really funny.
Yeah, go and read it if you've not read it. Our main news this week is I just got Ross a weighted blanket. Now, I'd ordered it for Christmas, but it is 9 kilograms, and I'm just like, I'm not just lugging that around and trying to hide it, so you can just have it now.
Ooh, and how is it, Ross?
It feels like a nice warm hug, and it's amazing.
All right, Olaf. And it's quite stressful with the weights, so you can go like from 3 kilograms all the way up to 13, and I picked 9 for Ross.
13 kilograms just lying
13.
on you.
And 9 kilograms feels intense.
Yeah.
But apparently it's really good for, like, I know a lot of kids with like autism or anxiety use it. I don't know if it just makes them feel comfy.
Yeah, maybe. Well, I think it does give you a nice warm hug. And then is it glass beads or is it sand?
That's a good question. There are beads inside.
There are beads or little balls.
Oh.
Why? What can you use? Why? What is it? Sand?
I think
it's definitely not sand.
I think sand's one of them, but it's mostly like glass beads, because they seem to be the heaviest.
Yeah, if you can feel like little beads in it, so it must be beads.
Yeah.
It's 9 kilograms of heaviness anyway. So he's gonna try it tonight, but I'm excited to see. But it's funny because Ross actually, as we've discussed before, doesn't like a lot of heat.
Oh my
sleeps,
god! Right, so
I'm
Amy,
a bit worried for him.
I'd be worried for you, because what happens if like Ross is a big strong guy? What happens if he just throws it off on one night and then it lands on you, and then you're trapped underneath
and then
the
I'll be
TV?
like, oh, I'm getting a nice hug. Well, I just said like in an emergency situation, if he needs to remove like if he you need to like whip off the covers and run downstairs because you think someone's breaking in. Oh my god, we had that, but what was it? Was it just a picture fill? Can't remember, it was something, but like it's going to take him about 10 minutes to whip it off. I'll be going down.
Yeah.
I've practiced. You can whip it off reasonably quickly because you're not actually lifting. It's not like you're bench pressing the whole thing up. You're just taking throwing a bit of it to the side.
I like how
so you're not taking the full weight.
Ross, you've jumped in a bit where you've actually also clearly thought about how you would still escape the bed if you needed to.
Well, you need to check these things. You have to.
Yeah, fire drills. So anyway, I didn't think we'd chat for like 3 minutes on weighted blankets, but here we are, 2022.
There you are.
So what we on? We're season 3, episode 22, and I can't see what we're talking about.
Blackouts.
All I can see is blackouts. So I think it's over to Andrew.
Hello.
Who is gonna tell us about blackouts?
Guys, I have a quick question for you. What do you think is actually happening when you get blackout drunk?
Blackout drunk. Oh, it's been so long.
No, this is interesting. I've never been blackout drunk, and I've been in some bad states. You've seen me in a bad state, Andrew.
I have indeed seen you in a bad state, Ross.
Yeah, my stag do did not go well. I actually lost a bit of vision in my left eye from my stag do. I vomited so hard that I got a floater in my left eye.
Oh yeah, remember that?
Yeah. I thought I was going blind. I thought my retina had fallen off from being sick.
If only we could have found you.
Ross and me are always sick before we get to that stage.
Ah, okay, interesting. So,
I've never had it where like I can't remember. Like
I can remember like being sick and feeling horrific,
Yeah.
but never like all that, like something that someone says something that happened and I can't remember.
Well, it's kind of so it's interesting because I've not been like blackout drunk, but there are points in my evenings on occasion when I don't remember, and so I assume that that's a blackout. And I don't remember how I've got to somewhere, or I've been perfectly safe, etc.
Yeah, I mean, let's call that a blackout.
That's a blackout, yeah.
Because
I
really
just
weird.
like having
Like there's no memory or something about it. So, there was a study done. So it's quite hard to do these studies now because there's so many rules and ethics.
Let's get people drunk,
right? You can't just get people drunk.
Yeah.
But so you've got a couple of options. So you can either have them hopefully randomly wander in, which is quite hard. You could have them just kind of replay what happened, so you could kind of talk to them about what happened. Or you could use secret option number 3, which is,
the military,
according to the article, ethically dubious. Okay. And ethically dubious was what happened on this particular experiment back in the 1970s. So what happened was that the researcher, Donald Goodwin, recruited alcoholics from hospitals to take part in a series of unusual memory tests, definitely not sanctioned by modern day science. One of the first ones was he asked these alcoholics about their experiences of having a blackout and any sort of information that he could get from friends or relatives of the person having the blackout. How did they act? Was there anything unusual about it? And he found that most of the time, actually, you act kind of normally. You're very much control of all your faculties. So you can, converse, you can talk, walk, all that sort of stuff. And then, he also found out that most people who were involved in blackouts of that kind travelled. They travelled far. So they travelled from point A to point B. Some of them were able to write checks. Some of them were able to board planes. Some are hotels, check into hotels. But the person doing it couldn't consciously recall what had happened. Now, I can attest to this because that's what happened to me. I remember leaving. Is it Finnegan's Wake or Dropkick Murphys? Shout out. The one underneath. The one underneath. The one when you go past Oz Bar.
Near Greyfriars Pub.
Dropkicks, right? So I'd left Dropkick Murphy. Well, I remember saying to the group of friends I was out with, "I'm going," and then the next thing I remember is I am standing outside Frankenstein's pub with a pizza and a drink, and I've phoned a taxi. And the taxi's pulling up. That's the next thing I remember. I don't remember getting there. I clearly don't remember getting the pizza. Very interesting.
But you were able to.
But I was able to, yeah. And so, that's
and you
quite
took part in a
interesting.
scientific study.
I took part in a scientific study. Who knows? But what then happened was that he decided, well, actually, we need to do further research. And this is where the experiment becomes ethically dubious. Because Donald Goodwin, did cross some lines. So, what he decided to do was that anybody with a history of blackouts, anybody with a history, and anybody without a history, he called a few of them back in, and he decided to give them half a litre of whiskey to drink over 4 hours. And during this time, they were tested on remote memory, immediate memory, which is your ability to remember events for 1 minute, short-term memory,
right,
which is memory for 30 minutes, so since the point 30 minutes ago, and recent memory, which is the ability to remember events immediately preceding the drinking period. So once you've kind of done the drinking period, boom, can you remember what we did? And this is, again, bordering on unethical. Some of the things that were shown, they were shown different play toys. They were also shown some pornographic films, and they were asked if they could remember any of this material, and failure to do it showed or demonstrated that they had a blackout experience. Others were asked if they were hungry, so he showed them a frying pan. People couldn't remember this sort of stuff. He found that they were not able to recall it the following day when he asked about it. Some of them could, however, recall it for a short period of time. So not long after, the ones that were taken after the drinking period, they could recall the memory then, but the next day they couldn't. Which starts to tell us actually very specific information about what's happening with your memory and when it's working. And it's all to do with the hippocampus, which is one of the parts of the brain we haven't necessarily discussed a lot on this podcast.
I've never heard of that one.
So the hippocampus is a part of the brain that deals with learning and memory. And
is it not a mythological creature as well?
That's a no. A hippocampus is where the hippos go to study.
I thought it was a Greek mythological creature.
Google it.
Hippocampus.
Google it.
Oh, I don't know.
Right,
Anyway,
Andrew.
So what happened was that they think, and there has been further experiments in animal models to kind of back this up, now, which are obviously incredibly more ethical. They seem to think now that basically what's happening is you're not transferring the short-term information from the short-term memory into the long-term memory. So it's not about that you can't remember what's happened. It's that your brain didn't transfer the information from short-term to long-term. Therefore, you just don't have those memories at all. So it's not a case of I've forgotten or my brain has blocked it out. Those memories don't exist because they were in your short-term, which generally kind of gets rid of memories quite a lot. Once it's moved them to the long-term memory. So it's like a little gap in a tape for those of us of that age who remember tapes. It's like a tiny, tiny little gap, and you've cut out, you've spliced out a little section of your tape, and then you've stuck it back together with sellotape, and yeah. So it's super interesting because that's we think that they think that the alcohol is suppressing the hippocampus from doing its kind of job. So there you are. So it's not that you've forgotten what happened; it's that you physically and mentally don't remember what happened.
Yeah, it's weird because like I've never had that, so I can't
apparently
picture someone else doing that. I just think they're lying when they're like, "Oh, I don't remember."
According to
kissing that girl or whatever.
According to this article,
maybe we do get blacked out. We don't know.
It's not actually that common. So, according to surveys, large number of people. So it's actually, according to a survey, a large number of people, 66%, have experienced getting blackout drunk, where chunks of time are forgotten. So you might be part of the 33% that doesn't experience them.
There you
go. So, Amy, are we ready for your questions this week?
I'm ready.
Amy's science test.
Amy, question 1. Why are my windows misted in the morning?
Condensation?
Condensation.
Is that the answer?
That's an answer. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, is it not something to do with like warm air meeting cool air and it's just like,
yeah,
gonna fog up?
And what is condensation?
Well, it's wet. It's just like water. Steam, water. Don't know what it is. Ross is like, ooh, physics.
I'm excited. Let's go. Yeah, you're right.
You're right.
Well, it's wet.
Where does it come from? Where's the
Air.
Where's the water come from? In the air, yeah. It's a water vapor in there.
Oh yeah, water vapor.
Vapor.
Oh yeah. Good.
Water
Yeah.
vapor.
On the inside, and you're right. It's hot and cold, and condensing is the process.
So why are we
And if
getting
you've
so
got
much?
poor ventilation.
Say that again.
And if you've got too much ventilation or poor ventilation.
Poor ventilation.
Poor ventilation. Yeah. Yeah, you get a build up
That's
of
what older windows tend to do.
because humans are sweaty individuals, so we give off quite a lot of water vapor from ourselves.
Yeah, because we used to live in a new build house and we never noticed like the condensation, Whereas we now live in an older house, so every morning now you see a little bit of condensation
especially
in
if
the windows.
we're in because we dry clothes in it.
Yeah, which will put more water into the air. Nice.
Yeah, exactly. So we need a
Yeah.
dehumidifier.
Good job. That is 1 point. Bing.
Yay.
Remember, we used to do points.
Yeah, I know. I've kind of lost
That
track of
stopped,
that.
that stopped pretty quickly.
Question number 2. Can we farm spiders for their silk?
I mean, you probably could, yeah. I don't know if it's
I suppose
like a different thing,
I suppose rather than can we, do we?
I don't think so. Do we?
Can I have a guess?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's spiders. I think
Yeah,
it's
silkworm.
silkworms.
Is it QI
Yes.
klaxon?
It is a kind of QI klaxon, yeah. So, specifically for this one, just because it's talking about spiders, I can certainly say that we don't farm spiders for their silk. Mostly because we can't keep spiders together. Because spiders are inherently territorial and they will fight each other and kill each other and eat each other.
Oh, okay.
So we tend not to keep them together. However, we do farm some form of spider-ish in order to get their silk. So what we do is we use a process called genetic engineering, and we have engineered, I say we, like we
Is this
the
a goat milk
scientists, we have got it into goats. And these are a set of spider goats, and the spider goats are able to produce milk that contains the protein to make the silk, and the silk is just pulled out like a teeny tiny little like thread out of the milk, and it creates the spider silk. Spider goats, just to let you know, do not climb on ceilings or walls,
Goats are actually pretty good at climbing.
but not vertical walls.
No,
You're allowed a 98 degree, but that's about it. And yeah, so there you are. So yeah, we do, and
That
actually,
was good.
spider silk's
Good
used
fun
quite a lot. The what would you say? Is it the tensile strength? Really good for kind of holding things together, building it, using it for sutures and stuff like that.
Do you know what
killing
I've...
bad guys. Green Goblin? Wait, is that a Spider-Man one?
That is a Spider-Man one. Yeah, nice.
Good knowledge. So what I've learned about spiders recently is, this from TikTok obviously, is that spiders are employed in cranberry fields.
Well, do they get paid?
Yes, in food.
Oh.
So they purposely have huntsman spiders. That might not be the type. They purposely have a type of spider. They grow them they have them in the cranberry bog to help control the cranberries. Not the cranberries, the insects eating the cranberries.
Those cranberries are out of control.
They are the
But-
worst.
But when they harvest the cranberries, they flood the whole bog.
Yep.
And all the cranberries float, and then they collect them in.
What?
And then all the spiders that were living there all sort of try and climb out of the bog. And the only thing that's in the bog when it's being flooded is the human that's harvesting it. So they get covered in thousands of spiders.
Oh,
That's the fear.
that sounds like a weird itsy
So
bitsy
it's
story,
on
like
the
an updated
it's on
version.
it's on the job description. Like it says, you can't be scared of
Oh,
spiders.
that is quite interesting. So that process is called biological control. So where you use a biological thing like something else to affect the.
You're just
the
gonna
things.
cut all my spider facts just to go back to your spider goat.
Of course I am. It's my edit, baby. And they also do it with on Greenfly for roses. So they use ladybirds.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But that is a cool thing, though, about the cranberries. That's actually, I didn't know that that's what they did. I knew they flooded the fields and all
Now you
that.
said that, you'll have to put it in. Haha.
I can cut this too. And okay, finally,
Right, last
Amy, question number 3. If protons, hold on, protons, my word. Right, so okay. Question 3: if protons have no mass and the speed of light is constant, then they are not affected by gravity. So how are black holes black?
Did Ross Johnston send this in?
Would you like to phone a friend?
I need to get we've got a book, what's it called? Something for babies.
Quantum, is it not?
General Relativity,
General
not that
Relativity.
one. What's the other one?
No, that's the one you want.
Oh, we've literally got general relativity for babies, so I think I need to read that. I mean, I switched off, if I'm honest, at the word proton. I was this is not for me. Where's the ones that's just like, why do dogs bark? Or why are sheep woolly? Or, do you know, protons? No.
Is it photons or protons?
Oh, I said protons. Oh, sorry. I apologize. Amy, this is probably what's caused the confusion. Sorry.
Oh, that's what,
question.
sorry, that's
Sorry.
right.
Okay,
no,
let me read it out again.
Me.
Sorry, I completely wrong. So if photons have no mass and the speed of light is constant, then they are not affected by gravity. So how are black holes black? Sorry, that photons,
okay.
That's completely different.
Okay, so the issue here is I don't know what a photon is, so I will just pass over to our resident physicist who can tell us.
Andrew can tell us what a photon is.
This is what
a photon.
Just tell us the answer.
Oh, yeah. Well, I can tell you what a photon is. A photon's a particle of light.
Yes, yeah.
That's where the word
includes in the phot.
Yeah, that's where that's where photo. A photograph is a graph of light.
Oh.
Anyway, sorry, Ross.
Good knowledge there. I didn't know that.
Guys, this is most definitely going in the podcast. I knew something that Ross didn't know. Yes. Nailed it.
About language, yeah, I'm not very good with language.
Right, come on.
As evidenced by every time I speak. So the reason we have black holes is because space-time is curved.
This is honestly,
I'm
just
switched
like...
off already.
Ross, sum it up in a tweet. You've got like 140 characters.
That's quite challenging.
No, you've got an Elon Musk tweet. You've got 3 characters.
Yeah.
I've got a meme.
And a meme. Yeah.
Okay. So my meme is gravity doesn't exist.
Well, the answer to that question was like, why are black holes black?
Yeah, I fell down the other day. That tells me gravity exists.
No, you fell down because of the curvature of space-time.
So we're opening a whole kettle of fish here. Can you just say, why are black holes black?
Why are your fish
because
in your kettle?
It's not gravity that's causing this to happen. It's the curvature of space-time.
Okay, perfect.
The curvature of space-time. Is that our final answer?
Yeah, that's the reason why. So, yes, they are massless, but they want to travel in a straight line. And space-time is so curved, a black hole, that they can't get out. They just travel in a circle. And the best way to think of it, do you know sometimes when you get a charity...
Oh, like the coin thing, where you put the coin in and it spins
yes,
round.
the coin thing.
Oh, right.
Yeah, exactly, that one, yeah. So that coin, if you look at the coin, it's travelling in a straight line.
Yeah.
Like it's rolling in a straight line. However, it looks like it is going round in a circle. But on the surface, it's travelling in a straight line on a curved surface, which makes it go round the way.
Is that...
and the exact same thing's happening for light. So that's why, light's not being pulled by the mass, it's just travelling in a straight line through curved space.
Is that why, like, when it goes in a straight line and then it kind of curves round it, is that what the accretion disk is? The bit on the outside that...
Yeah, so you get a disk forming around a black hole, just like you get like planets forming around a star. They're just moving so fast that they're giving off light. But the reason the black hole sort of looks a bit funny is the disk goes all the way around, like Saturn. It's got a disk all the way around it. But the lights, the ring on the far side, the light from that is curving over the black hole.
Oh, which is why it looks...
So that's why.
Like up and round. Oh,
yeah,
that's really cool. And if you'd like to send in your pictures of any black holes that you've taken through your telescopes or otherwise, please do send us an email at ireaditos@gmail.com or contact us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook or TikTok at ireaditos. Please do tell others about our podcast and leave a review. This helps us massively in the charts and allows other people to find us. Please do subscribe on your podcast app so that you can get some of our up and coming exciting episodes that we are planning for the new year. And we will see you next week, maybe. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.